Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show today with one of the attorneys in the Margaret W. Wong and Associates law firm. Today is a very special day. It's October the 14th, and we are halfway until the end of this month. So then it's just 2 more months remaining to the end of this year. And this year has been really, really fast, flying literally, and we are getting to the end of the second year of this uh, crazy time that we have lived in the last 20 months, 22 months, probably. And well, today we have the attorney Francis Fungseng, who is going to help us answer some questions that are coming from you all in the social media on Facebook today. And thank you so much for joining us at this time. Thank you so much for having us today, Attorney Francis. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much. And well, Attorney Francis, this has been a really fast year. We have different government, but this government has had uh, to face some issues that we had since last year. For example, the pandemic, and we still have people that complain about what's going on in the immigration service, biometrics, appointments, hearings, and everything that's going on. What is your vision about all of this coming to an end of the year 2021?
Well, it's not just people in the United States, it's also people who are overseas waiting to come to the United States because US embassies around the world, they're not back to normal operations. There aren't a lot of visa appointments available. So people are trying to get their interviews either for a temporary visa or for their immigrant visa. And if they can't get the appointment, they can't get the visa and they're stuck overseas. Okay, so that's another problem.
Remaining. Yeah, so some of the problems have been that some people need to report people that have the device on their ankle, or what they call the bracelet.
Mhm.
But normally, when people go to ICE and report, then they come back without the bracelet. But for some time, we saw people reporting over the phone or over email. Is that situation changing now, or we're still having the same issue?
Well, I think we're still having the same issue just because a lot of these report dates, they're still not doing a lot of these reports in person. Okay. And there's not a lot of communication about how to report in over the phone or leaving a message. So a lot of times the attorney has to contact ICE on the client's behalf to figure out what's going on and how do we make sure we're complying with ICE and what to do about this ankle bracelet.
Okay, and thank you so much. And about the people that have been detained at the border, that they have to spend more time, are they having an experience of delays yet, or is it getting better a little bit each day? What is the situation with the COVID in the detention centers at the border?
Well, the current administration is coming under fire a lot for what's going on at the border because they've been using the same policy that the previous president has used, COVID, to not allow people into the United States. Okay. So hopefully that's changing. And the administration is starting to agree to parole people into the United States. Now they're starting to parole people who are in the remain in Mexico policy, the migrant protection protocol. They're paroling those people into the United States, but new people, that's a different story. We'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, thank you so much, Attorney Francis. And we have the first question coming in today. This question says, I am from South Korea and I became US citizen. I want to file for my dad, but also I want to file for my stepdad because he raised me. Can I do that?
Okay, so the first question is going to be, you became a US citizen, so how did you qualify to get your green card in the first place? If there was a legal adoption and you got your green card through that adoption, then you might not be able to sponsor biological parents, okay? If you did not get your green card through adoption, maybe you got it through an employer, maybe through marriage, then you can definitely petition for your biological father. Now, can you also petition for your stepfather? Now, then the question is, does that person legally qualify as your stepfather? So did your biological mother marry the stepfather before you turned 18 years old? If the answer is yes, then that person qualifies as your legal stepfather, and you could petition for that person. Okay?
Thank you so much, Attorney Francis, for this information. And don't forget that you can call to the phone number 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984, and our attorneys are willing to help you in your immigration needs and the case that you may have in the immigration field. This next person that is asking this next question says, I am U.S. citizen. I'm sorry. I am married to an U.S. citizen. She filed for me, but I am still waiting. I have a daughter. She's 15. She just came from India with a petition from my wife. Now they ask for a pledge of allegiance, and they are asking for the N600 form. What is this about? How can we resolve this situation?
600 is the certificate of citizenship. That means that the child is already a United States citizen, but wants that certificate of citizenship as proof of the US citizenship. So the first question is your daughter a US citizen right now? If she is, then she can file the N600 to get that certificate, okay? Now, if your wife, the mother of the daughter, came with the child, and the mother is a US citizen, and the child has a green card, and the child is under the age of 18 when the mother became a US citizen, then the child automatically becomes a US citizen and can file the N600. So we need a few more details about what's going on here, because the daughter is under 15, but is the daughter here on the green card? Is the mother a US citizen? So we need more information about that.
Yeah, the stepmother seems to be the U.S. citizen, and the natural mother is in India, is what
So
they
that-
state here. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so step parent filing for a stepdaughter, the daughter does not automatically get US citizenship after the daughter gets the green card. If you, as the father, the biological father, get your US citizenship while the child is under the age of 18, then she can get automatic US citizenship.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Attorney Francis, for this answer. And don't forget that you can ask more details dialing 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. This next question is in Spanish, but I'm going to read it in English. We have an appointment or hearing pending in March for a cancellation of removal case. We are applying for the 10-year cancellation law. We have a kid, he's 6 years old, he has autism, and we have investments of $900,000. Could this help us to get approved, my husband and I?
Well, if your child has autism and your child is a US citizen, and you've been in the United States for at least 10 years, and during that 10 years, you are a person of good moral character, that means you don't have a serious criminal record or multiple DUIs during those 10 years, then I think you have a very good chance of winning the cancellation case. Because autism, it's a very serious illness that children have, and they need the parents here to take care of those kids, okay? So definitely gather the documentation to show that the child has been diagnosed with autism. Does the child have a special learning program or IEP going to school? And any kind of medical records that you have, and make sure you submit those to the court.
Okay. Thank you so much, Attorney Francis. And we have a next question coming in. And this person says, I was married to a person for 25 years, and I was his beneficiary under TPS. Now he abandoned me and left to Spain. What happens with my TPS?
Well, I mean, first of all, the question is, what country are you from? TPS is temporary protected status. It's only for citizens of certain countries, okay? Now, just because he left doesn't mean your TPS is automatically canceled. Your TPS is still valid. You still have the work permit, okay? So the question is, depending on what country you're from, are you eligible to extend that TPS or re-register when the time comes? Okay. Certain countries, they haven't been qualified to re-register yet, but because of some federal lawsuits, the Immigration Service is still allowing you to have valid TPS status, right?
Okay, thank you so much, Attorney Francis. This person says that is from El Salvador, so should be able to file for the TPS.
Well, El Salvador, it's on the list where the previous administration didn't renew the TPS for El Salvador, but people filed lawsuits to stop the cancellation. So technically right now, there's no extension. Immigration every couple of months is automatically extending the work permits, but so far there's no application to extend the TPS, and it's not back on the list yet for TPS. So we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but for right now, she still has TPS.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, this person still has the TPS, so that's a good news for you. And if you need more information, just please give us a call, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. This next person is Darmish. I am in the United States from September 2017. I entered on a B1, B2 visa. Any good news for legal status?
Well, if you entered on the visitor visa or the tourist visa,
I hear you.
Yeah, and you overstayed that visa, that means that you don't have lawful status right now, and unfortunately, that limits your options. So far, there's no congressional immigration reform, no new laws that could help you. And so for now, unless you have a qualifying relative, that means you have a parent or a spouse who's a US citizen or a green card holder, you wouldn't be able to go through employment or one of the other methods of getting the green card. If there are some exceptions, like if you were a victim of a crime and you assisted the police, or you are now married to a US citizen, or you have a US citizen child who's over the age of 21, or some other exceptions, then it's possible that you can apply for the green card, but we'll have to take a look at your situation.
Okay, thank you so much, Attorney Francis. And this person is asking the following. I was born in the States, and I've been married 2 times and gave my husbands their documents, but we got divorced for different reasons. Can I get married a 3rd time and still apply for my husband?
Yes, technically you can, but the more this happens, the more difficult it's going to be. The Immigration Service is going to be pretty suspicious because they see a pattern. You get married, sponsor for the green card, get divorced, get married, sponsor for the green card, get divorced. And so they want to make sure that each one of these marriages was real. Did you live with the husband? Was it a real relationship? And so for the new case, you can definitely get married and file for your new spouse, but they're going to look very carefully at the whole history of the case. So you must be able to document that you're living together with the current husband. And I would also gather documents for the previous marriages. What happened? Why did you get divorced? To show that it was real.
Thank you so much, Attorney Francis. And for all of you that are joining us now in our live show, please feel free to send your questions while we are live or to call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And the attorney Margaret W. Wong is traveling to several cities in the United States. And well, if you want to write down the date that she will be in your city, November the 3rd, she will be in the city of Atlanta. November the 3rd. November the 4th, she is going to be in Columbus, Ohio. It's on a Thursday. And Cleveland, Ohio. Well, November the 12th, she will be in Nashville, Tennessee. So please make your appointment as soon as possible because the appointments go by flying. So if you want to see her in person and talk to her in person, make your appointment in your city. So Atlanta, November 3rd, Columbus, November the 4th, and Nashville, and November the 12th. So please call this phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984, and she will be able to take care of your immigration needs. Attorney Francis, we have another question. It's very interesting. This person says, I was born in Colombia, but I have double nationality, Colombian and Venezuelan. My husband and my children are Venezuelans by birth. We filed for the TPS. They already received the biometrics notice, but I entered with my Colombian passport and I entered from Spain. The thing is, I lived in Venezuela for 16 years and I have the double nationality. Will that be an issue for my TPS request?
Okay, so this happens for dual nationalities. You still might qualify for TPS, but it's up to the Immigration Service to decide on a case-by-case basis. They look at your specific situation and decide, is your nationality, the primary nationality, Venezuela or Colombia? Okay. Now they look at the situation. What passport did you use to come into the United States? If you used Colombia and not Venezuela, then that points towards Colombia, not Venezuela. Okay. If on your paperwork, you say that you're a Colombian citizen and not a Venezuelan citizen, and you keep using the Colombian citizenship on everything, then it seems like you're using the Colombian citizenship and that's your nationality. Okay. But it is possible for you to get the TPS. It just makes it more difficult, especially if you lived in Venezuela and then you moved out of Venezuela, lived in another country for a while, and then you came to the United States. They might say that you are now firmly resettled. You've left Venezuela and you're now firmly resettled in this new country. Okay. So right now you already filed. Wait and see what happens. See if you get a request for evidence from the Immigration Service pointing out this issue.
Okay, thank you so much, Attorney Francis. And yeah, that's a very particular question. And this next question is, I am Venezuelan. My TPS got approved. I don't have Venezuelan passport. Can I travel to another country with my TPS?
The answer is no. To travel, anybody can leave the United States, but to re-enter the United States, you need a valid passport or a valid travel document. The TPS approval only allows you to stay legally while you're physically here in the United States. It is not a visa. It is not a travel document. So you would need to apply for a passport to be able to first travel. And number two, you would have to apply for what's called advanced parole. That's a travel permission document from immigration to allow you to come back into the United States. Because even if you do get a passport from Venezuela, there's no visa in the passport. There's no entry visa. So you would need permission to leave to come back into the United States, called advanced parole. And you need to get that before you actually depart. So first step, get a passport. Second step, apply for advanced parole. And then once you have those two things, then you can take a trip and be able to come back into the United States.
Okay, thank you so much. And that answer is very, very clear. Thank you so much, Attorney Francis, for being so clear with the answer, because that's what we need. We need clear answers for clear understanding. And we really appreciate that. So the next question is coming. But before I ask the next question, don't forget that the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The next question says, I came on a B1, B2 visa, and in the process of adjusting my status, as I am now married to a U.S. citizen, I have been working remotely from my home country, virtual work. The company is not an U.S. company. I got my interview. Is this considered unauthorized employment?
Okay. First of all, is this considered unauthorized employment? Now, employment is if you perform services and you are compensated for those services. So are you doing work and are you getting paid for that work? All right, that's what employment is. If you're physically in the United States and you're working while you're here, that would be considered employment. Now, so was this authorized? Do you have a work permit or work visa? If you don't, technically that's unauthorized employment. But since you are married to a U.S. citizen, unauthorized employment is not a problem for your green card case, because being married to a U.S. citizen solves a lot of these immigration problems. Working without authorization is one of those problems, okay? So don't worry about this. If the officer at the interview asks you, have you been working? If it's on your application, don't try to hide it. You can say, yes, I've been working virtually for this company in my home country. And the officer will not give it a problem because you're married to a U.S. citizen, all right?
Okay, thank you so much, Attorney Francis. And this question is coming from our inbox. And this person says, I have a company. It's advertising and marketing company. We take accounts from different cities, and we do the we do the consultations and orientations for people in different countries. But my question is, can we work with companies of the United States remotely from Canada that we have based there? And would this be considered a job, a work, or would it be legal, or we have to establish our company in the United States with the investment that we need in order to be able to work there and be 100% legal?
So are you talking about if you are physically in the United States and doing this here, or are you physically in Canada and doing this from there?
They are now physically in Canada, is what I understand, and they provide the service for people here in the United States, but not only the United States, but other countries. What they are asking is if they can establish a base or a headquarters or an office here in the United States without being considered illegal.
Okay, so first of all, if you are not physically in the United States, then you do not need US work authorization to perform work. So if you are in Canada and you are working in Canada while you're physically there, you do not need a US visa to do work while you're in Canada because you're not here. So that's the first question. Second issue, let's say you want to establish an office in the United States. then all you have to do, you don't need a specific work visa to establish an office, but you would need a work visa if you want to come to the United States and work for that office while you are physically in the United States. Okay. Now, if you are from Canada, you can look into the TN work visa, which is for certain professionals, for Canadians and Mexicans, or you could look into the E2, which is the investor visa, which Canadians are eligible for, or you could look into the E1, which is to promote international trade if there's trade between Canadian business and the United States, okay? And so these are a couple different options, or there's also the L1, which is for multinational transferees. That means there's a business in Canada, there's a related business in the United States, either a parent, subsidiary, affiliate, or branch, and you want to send somebody, either a manager or an executive or person with specialized knowledge about your business from the Canadian business to the US business. Okay, so you've got a couple different options if you want to send employees to work for that US business.
Okay. And we have some questions that I had never seen before, Attorney Francis. So thank you for having this time to explain so much about these cases. This person says, I recently graduated from the University of Dayton, Ohio, with a degree in mechanical engineering at the University of Dayton, Ohio. As my graduation was coming up, I applied for jobs around the United States. I got two good prospects, one as nuclear energy officer at the US Navy, and one as a mechanical engineer at the National Air and Space Intelligence Center. But both of these jobs require either permanent residency or US citizenship. Since I am on a student visa, I am not eligible to work. Let me finish. Well, I don't see the rest of the question. To work on these jobs, is there any way you can help me get a permanent green card? Is there anything I can do to help my case? Please let me know. Thank you.
Right. Unfortunately, federal jobs usually require US citizenship or US permanent residency to work for those jobs. Now, if you just graduated, that means you're on OPT, which is optional practical training, a 1-year work permit that you can use to get some experience related to your major. Now, because you graduated in mechanical engineering, technically you can extend that 1 year for an additional 2 years, giving you 3 years of OPT eligibility. So that's for STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, okay? So because you can't work for the federal government, I would try to find another job with another employer who is willing to start the green card process for you, okay? If you're not from China or India, then the green card process will take 1.5 to 2 years if the employer is willing to sponsor. If you're from China or India, because there's so many people applying from those countries, there's a longer wait in line. It could take 4 years, it could take 10 years. But if you're not from China or India, while you're going through these interviews, talk to employers, say you have 3 years of eligibility. Are you willing to start the green card process for me so that maybe you can finish it during those 3 years? If you can't finish it during those 3 years, then you have to look into H-1B if you want to keep working after the OPT expires, okay? So talk to employers. Are they willing to sponsor you for the green card process? I have 3 years of eligibility under OPT.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Attorney Francis. Don't forget that the law firm of Margaret Wong and Associates has offices in 9 cities of the United States. Is Atlanta, Cleveland, Columbus, Chicago, Minneapolis, Memphis, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And this last question, Attorney Francis, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I have a work authorization only for my career. Now I filed for TPS. I assume this person is from Venezuela, and eventually will get my work permit. Would it be a violation if I work on a different area with my new work permit?
Okay, so we just talked about OPT, optional practical training. That means after you graduate with your degree, you get a 1-year work permit to work in a job that's related to your major. So if you majored in accounting, that means the job should have something to do with accounting. Okay. Now, while that means you're on F1 student status, you also apply for the TPS. Now, as long as you maintain your student status, you can also apply for TPS and have both at the same time. But if you use the TPS work permit and work for another business in a job that's not related to accounting, that could violate your OPT and cancel your student status. Now, it's not necessarily a problem because you still have your TPS status, but if you want to maintain both, then make sure you comply with the OPT, okay? Comply with those OPT rules.
Okay, thank you so much, Attorney Francis. Well, our time is up, and thank you so much for having us today. Have a good weekend, and, well, take care. Thank you so much. And for everybody who joined us today, don't forget that you can call 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984, and the attorney, Margaret W. Wong, who has over 40 years of experience working on the immigration field, will be in the city of Atlanta on November the 3rd. November the 3rd, she will be in the city of Atlanta, and November the 4th, she will be in Columbus, Ohio. So please make your appointment as soon as possible so that she can have time to take care of your questions. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And on November the 12th, she will be in the city of Nashville. So please make sure that you make your appointment and talk to her in person or one of the attorneys that have been traveling lately after the pandemic. Well, they are retaking the trips and the flights to all of the cities to take care of your immigration needs. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Don't forget to get in touch with us on 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984.